Well guys, we made it to November, but today we're probably going to get our first really hard freeze. So the garden's about to be done for this season. I'm not too sure how I feel about that yet. It's pretty awesome being able to walk out into your yard and being able to pick whatever you need for dinner fresh, and to have food that's just readily available and to not have to worry about going to the store, but that's all about to come to an end. Before that cold weather sets in, we're going to take advantage of it and actually get some things harvested before we lose it all to the frost. The first thing that we have to harvest today is this giant Peruvian corn.
It's our giant Peruvian corn. It accidentally got wet, started to sprout late in the year, so we went ahead to try to plant it and see if we could get some, a few seeds. We didn't have many to start with. So this is the only one I think may have gotten mature enough to actually produce seeds, so we'll see what we got. Well, we'll start with a little bit of corn smut on there. Didn't have very good pollination at the time this was in silk. We only had one other stalk that was actually tasseled out to pollinate it. Yep. Not quite as big as they should be. About half the size, but they still may produce with such a late start.
So what's your plan for this?
We will dry this out, keep it through the winter. Once it dries, then I'll freeze it. Make sure there's no aphid or anything like that in there to eat it up. And we'll try again next spring.
We're going to replant it. Corn smut. Who would have thought? We also have these makeshift boards up here. We got a little windstorm not too long ago and it tried to flatten it all down, so we threw this up in a ratchet strap to keep it standing because it's so tall. You want to show me his phalanges?
Phalanges. This corn is a nitrogen fixing corn. It actually produces like a jelly on these roots that'll drip back down on the ground and microbes can grow in, and it adds a nutrient back to the soil.
Next up, we have some lemongrass that we need to get harvested as well.
We're going to try to take some cuttings off of these and put them in our greenhouse and overwinter them, because unless we start seed from them every year, there's really no way of keeping them growing through the winter here because it gets too cold and they just die out. So this way, that means we have more plants for next year, because I'd like to eventually move these beside our house and have like a whole hedgerow of them, because they say if you're going to have like an outdoor party, you can take and pull off several of the leaves, and the lemongrass scent itself is a mosquito repellent. So I'm going to try that and see if we can't use these. next season.
Oh, so much easier.
Random mud hole.
It's not that random. The plants we dug up a couple weeks ago.
Plus, it's been raining every day for a week.
Yes.
So we could probably put these in pots and even put them upstairs.
That's what I thought we're trying to do.
I bet that would be
Probably not.
awesome for like air purifying.
Probably.
This is not a how-to video, by the way. This is, we want to get this propagated for next year and get it out of the ground quickly before the frost kills it video.
Chop over to it. We do a dog tick.
That's not lemongrass. Throw it over your dog tick forest.
Yes. He wanted to be with his family.
His cousin Kenny, twice removed,
Yes.
lived on the outskirts of town.
I'm going to cut these off somewhere in here. That way we can take these pieces that have the little stumps with the roots on. We'll put them in some water. Maybe try experiment in some flower pots with dirt. See if we can overwinter some in the house. Try to overwinter some in the greenhouse.
It legit sounds like bamboo.
And maybe rootstock pieces.
Now these are the guys we're going to try to put in a pot because they got roots on them still, to see if we can't get this going so it'll grow back and make more lemongrass for next year.
Let's put this one
Now, to figure out what to do with it.
to dry some, grind it up, try to make it powder, maybe use some of it to cook with. Either try to extract some essential oils from it to use for swarm traps for honeybees.
A man and his crop after a hard day's work.